well. A garden. I don't know if you guys told Paul, but there's a couple here in Vancouver that pairs homeowners, or like apartment dwellers, or I live in a laneway house, so no green space. So they pair people up with homeowners who have garden space, either on their front lawn or the backyard. It's a really great idea, and then their their whole business is really, they do that, and it's quite affordable to have a garden for the season. And they grow all their own seedlings, and they have a lot of other things that they offer. So they've got a really good business going on there, that's for sure. And they're on the same page as we are. So yeah, my garden is doing well. It's about a 10 or 15-minute walk. I usually ride my bike there. So it's not like having a garden in your backyard. It can be a little bit of especially right now when it needs a lot of care. So, but I share it with, I have a garden buddy, so we share watering and stuff usually. But so those things, I've got some art on the go. I haven't been at it since I went away. What else? Still completely not in the whole the crypto thing, because I have so little to put in there, so it's kind of like, oh well, that's over there. But I keep showing up because I am learning slowly, but I think if you have a little bit more to play with, you're more engaged. So
it's even if you have like $10, $15, $20, put it in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a savings that actually grows.
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. Yeah, that's good.
You might as well start doing it.
Well, I have a few thousand in there, so and I have a small amount in different, mostly in my lace wallet. So yeah, and then some smaller coins, Optimum, XRP, and injected in my Exodus wallet. So.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. This is so good. I'm the same way, Denise. Like what I've been preparing over the last 15 years or so is a blend of strategies. And I don't expect anyone to keep track of all of them. But I've got my biggest amount that I have strategized is the same setup as yours.
Yeah.
I just dollar cost average ever since 2021. And I don't even want to talk about how much I'm down, because how much I bought in 2021, 2022. And now it's like I look at the balance and I look at my targets and I'm like, I'm still going to 20x. And the same thing applies for you. You've got yourself a nice savings account that has it's a tax-free savings account.
I really like that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? They always used to say, just put $10 in.
Yep.
So just put $10 in.
And I get that, smaller balances, like if you put in $10 and it 10x's, it's only $100. But I'll tell you what, there's some power behind having that experience under your belt.
Yeah.
Right? There's a certain amount of, I don't know, it's almost like a certain amount of grit you have to go through to watch that grow.
Yeah.
And once it's done growing, you've got the grit to do it again. Right?
Yeah.
Now that $100 turns into $1,000.
Just roll it over.
Yep.
Right? It's what do they call it? Compounding interest?
That's right. It's like, oh man, this crypto only 5x'd. Right, but the next one's going to 5x, and that's 25x.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Very good. Well, maybe we'll do something in my call with you at 11:30. Well.
Yeah. Well, what I would like to do is, and kind of like how you had done some pending orders, right? You did some limit orders.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
we can set, it'll be more manual because now you're fully non-custodial with your assets, right? So it'll be a little bit more manual, but we can still get Virgo to send you a notification when the price reaches a certain point.
Okay.
And then when you get that notification, you don't go to Virgo, you go to your non-custodial wallet and you send it over to Virgo. And it'll automatically switch it back, because remember, it's all set up automatically now. It'll automatically turn it back into Canadian dollars and deposit right back into your account. What I would do is that when you reach the first target, you sell half of everything, because now you know you're not out of money and you can be more conservative with that half and let the other half be exposed to the volatility for the rest of the bubble, or for the rest of the bubble.
It sounds like a good strategy.
Yeah. So I want to come back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA is right now North America's #1 manufacturer for chips for AI. And this is very much, the AI bubble is not over. In fact, because of how much money that they've invested and because of how much AI can't do all of the things that they promised it would do, they're under. They are not profiting. And in order to make it look like things are okay and to prevent the public from being scared, I said this for months. The next crisis is going to be a cyber attack. The conversation of AI is intensifying. The fear programming that's around AI has intensified as well. And it's not going to go down anytime soon, because the program, in the same way they had to program us to be scared of COVID, right? They're now programming us to be scared of China.
Yeah.
Because they did it with the virus. Oh, look, China virus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And they got people to be scared of China. Well, now it's going to be no problem for us to be scared of China when the CEO of NVIDIA, one of the main partners for Operation Stargate, NVIDIA CEO comes out, I think it was the day before yesterday, with a statement publicly saying that China's AI is, quote, formidable. And they have to do something about it. Well, they're lying to the public about how much money they've made. They were not accurate with their earnings reporting. I think it was yesterday or the day before. They're not reporting their numbers accurately. And the analysts are calling them out openly, saying, you're lying. And there was a meme where it had the owner of, or the CEO of NVIDIA on stage saying, I'm going to cook the books to save humanity. And again, that programming is there. Save humanity from what? Oh, look, he just said China has an AI that's formidable. As if now that's the war. We're not going against countries. That's not warring countries going on a battlefield with soldiers and shooting at each other. No, it's far worse than that. Now it's about the data. Who controls the data? And so that fear-mongering, I believe, is going to escalate into a war. There will be an attack, and I believe a false flag attack, cybersecurity-wise, and China is going to be to blame, and the American public are going to be lassoed back into another war, but a completely different kind of war. Don't worry, you're not going to have to send your sons to die, but we'll need all your data. And I believe that as a result, one of the fastest growing industries is going to be data privacy over the next 2 years. So that's really the only update that I want to share from the mainstream markets, because I believe that that's a pivotal development in this war for AI, for the the dominance, AI dominance. That's what I believe. All right, let's go call up some charts here. And I'm going to, I'll practice with that another time. Okay, let's go with this. Share screen. Where is it? There we go. All right. Now I need to put myself full screen. Here we go. Okay. Awesome. So let's start off. This is the ADA one. Let's go to the altcoin markets. This is the altcoin markets right now. We are seeing some growth from that low that we had back on April 6th. That low we've been growing ever since. We have broken out above this trend line here, and we've got some good momentum. Right now we're noticing a little bit of consolidation where the highs are getting lower and the lows are getting higher. So this energy buildup, we can expect a breakout pretty soon. I don't know what we're really waiting for technically. Might be just needing to see another boost from Bitcoin. Because as you can see, the Bitcoin chart has a similar formation to the altcoin chart. The altcoins got a little bit more of a jump here through the month of May, the first half of May. Altcoins had a bigger jump than Bitcoin in the same period of time. But that move in Bitcoin coincided with that growth in May from the altcoins. So I believe that we're going to see some more money coming into Bitcoin, and that's going to increase. We're going to go up higher, going to create a new all-time high. Ethereum is also, you can see its growth far exceeds that which Bitcoin experienced in the same period of time. Now, it's partly because of the smaller market cap, there's no question. But this here typically doesn't happen at the same time as Bitcoin. So it tells me that the money coming into Bitcoin is going directly into the altcoins because Ethereum is that gateway. So seeing both grow at the same time is a good sign that we are in an altcoin season. However, we have to be mindful that this is the Ethereum chart. And this long-term trend line, when it came up, when it bounced up along with Bitcoin, there was no retest of that trend line. So even though we've created a higher high recently, just actually in the last day, right here, yesterday at 6 p.m., Ethereum created a new high that hadn't been in play since, oh man, this was back in February. But without the challenge, without any challenge on this trend line here, I would expect us to come back down and retest this trend line. So if that falls down, we can likely expect to see some fear in the market. And all of these, this is the altcoin market again. We'll probably see this drop down and find some support at previous resistance, similar to what Ethereum would need to do to retest this long-term trend line. Moving on, I'll quickly grab some silver and gold here. Silver's still consolidating now at the upper half of this consolidation zone. We've got a breakout imminent. It's just a matter of when. It's either going to go up or down. If it goes down, I did the math, if it goes down, it would have to test this line. If it goes up, we're probably going to see it go up to, what did I have this, around $40? Yeah, 39.5 is that upper limit. Gold has been consolidating, well, not really consolidating, actually right now it's looking almost bearish, where this is the lowest low here and this previous high did not meet the high before it. And so we may be consolidating right now. We'll see what happens on the next impulse. If it drops down lower than this support here, we may be seeing that re-emergence of money coming into the fiat markets, like the US 30, for example. So we'll see what happens. It plays out over the next little while. I don't expect this to go down yet. I think we're going to see this go up, and we're going to see the markets tumble a little bit further in order for the public to believe that there is a crisis. And I think that the next support would probably be around the $40,000 mark. Moving on, XRP. This is the 4-hour chart on XRP. We can see that the high that was created there, the first half of May, that is nice. It's clearly above, and it's clearly above the previous high that was here in March. We are looking to meet the next level, which is $2.73. Being at this support right now, it's a good position to reach that amount. It's not too much of a stretch for it to come up to there and test that out. Again, though, if we see Ethereum drop, we may see this reflect as the same sentiment reflect in XRP and come back down to test possibly this level here, or maybe even this old level back from this area here. Oh, you can't see that. This level right there. That's if it were to come back and retest. ADA, also similarly to XRP, created a new high there the first half of May, and it has been maintaining this formation. It has not been creating lower lows. So with this consolidation, we can easily go ahead and create a little wedge pattern. We can see how well that's coming together. In fact, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to use that as the low simply because of how that market was there. Let's go and create the line off of these ones. Yeah, so we might be seeing some consolidation continue, energy build up before we see a breakout. However, if it goes down, I'm going to suggest people plan for it to go down to 66 cents. That would be a great re-entry for me. Right now, I'm pretty heavy on this. My liquidation price is somewhere down in here. So if it goes down, I'm not going to buy more because I don't want to bring that liquidation price up higher. So if it goes down, I'm not going to buy more. I'm in position for the next impulse. If it goes below that, my trade plan is to actually add to the balance here so that I don't liquidate. So I've got, a bunch of USDT sitting aside, ready to go, and it just sits there. Just like that's like my savings account where I know I'm pegged to the US dollar for the time being. I have that on hand in case this market works against my bullish position. Doge, consolidating, similar to ADA. I can get rid of these lines because those are now irrelevant to today. And we can see we actually have a nice trend line forming here. Now this might continue to consolidate until we meet up with that trend line, or it might dip down. No matter what happens though, it's still a good buy. I would say that be prepared for the price to come down to 18.6 cents to retest this level, but that if it does that, then it has to work its way back up that trend line again. Injective, strong chart showing new highs all the time. This is indicative of these types of coins where they are merging ecosystems together so that there's more cross-platform interoperability. Very encouraging to see. So with these highs getting higher, I'm realizing that my my settings are muting the green. I just got to quickly change that up. Did that help? Oh, where'd it go? Hello? Where did it go? Let's see. Oh, weird. Okay, display capture. Where did it go? That is so weird. It's literally just disappeared. Okay. Well, let's just reshare it from scratch. And I'll just turn this back to this and, oh yeah, see, it's like trying to fade out the background for some reason. And, oh, none. That was the problem. Okay. Awesome, here we go. The highs getting higher. Very good sign for injective. Get rid of this trend line because it's not that important. And make a new one. From this low here, meeting up with these lows, we can see that, there's actually two trend lines occurring here at the same time. It's similar to a two-stage consolidation. You can see there's some equality even to these two trend lines where they're running in parallel with each other. So we have two support lines that are providing the drive for this impulse. And yeah, either retesting the shorter one or retesting the longer one, depending on what happens. But they're very encouraging. We are seeing some resistance here at the $15 mark, $15.59. We'll see what happens. I mean, until we see that highs are simply being denied and they're not even meeting the previous high, that's when we can assume that we'll be heading back down again, or if we create a lower low. Algorand, more of a consolidation, similar to what we see with Doge, where there's no higher highs, higher lows. Right now, sitting at support around this old previous resistance at 21 cents. BitTensor, definitely showing some great promise over the last little while. You know, in the first half of May, from the first half of April to the first half of May, in 1 month, 35 days actually, it rose 187%, and it's been consolidating ever since. Optimism also consolidating, but a good solid retest of this long-term trend line, and so we can expect some continued movement going upwards as a result. If it goes back down, I don't expect it to retest this trend line, because that would mean that we'd be coming down like all the way over here. And if it comes down to this trend line, we've broken through 2 points of support. So if it goes down, I don't think it would come down to test the trend line again. It probably would just test this low at 58 cents. Fetch. This is probably one of my favorite AI coins right now. The more I'm learning about what these guys are doing, the happier I'm getting. So here it's consolidating at the moment, but with a new high formed here, just on May 23rd, a little bit more delayed than the other altcoins, which means that these people are more serious. They know what they're doing. They're not just following the hype, because they formed that high days, like almost 2 weeks after the high was formed in Ethereum. So these people here, they're more serious. They know what they're doing. That's encouraging for the price action. They're less likely to be susceptible to fear. Woo. Consolidating? No, actually, you know what? Look at that. Created that new high on May 22nd. Again, a later impulse than what was experienced with Ethereum. So again, more serious buyers. Modic, consolidating again. This is Polygon, finding a lot of support on the 22 cent mark. On May 10th, that was a new high that was created there. The little impulse that we saw happen May 22nd that gave Woo and Fetch that upper hand didn't happen with Polygon. I think it's just because, again, Polygon is more of a gaming coin. A lot of gaming coins are built on Polygon. So that's why I would believe that this one here didn't receive as much, because the gaming bubble is going to be a little bit later on in the year. Desync. Desync has been consolidating, and that's a good sign, because again, just means these people are serious. The first half of May did create a new high, found some resistance at the 20 cent mark, And since that time has been consolidating, right now on the low end of that consolidation at a good accumulation point. This is what we call a high demand zone. I'm going to go ahead and just put a box around this. This high demand zone simply means that there's a lot of price action bouncing back and forth within, either from above or below. And we can see exactly how that played out, ever since, when was this here? This was back in February. So at a high demand zone right now, Destra, 0 by 0, almost created a new high here. Oh no, it did. It did. First half of May, it went ahead and created a new high, but it has been in a downtrend ever since. I think it's just because 0 by 0 is a little bit lesser known of an asset than Desync. They both get a lot of chat in their communities, but I find that 0 by 0's marketing isn't as profound. Desync seems to be everywhere in the conversations that happen. Arcade gaming coin dribbling like a basketball ever since April 10th. Even here on April 27th, not coinciding with the highs that we experienced from Bitcoin and Ethereum, that new insurgence of liquidity, didn't affect Arcade. And that's again indicative of it being a gaming coin. PAL, a little bit different. It's been showing some great promise, more upswing on the trend. We might be seeing some more of that. And I think the reason why for this, my feeling on this one is because PAL is a larger ecosystem of games. So there's just a larger community than Arcade, Arcade. WorldCoin, another gaming ecosystem, doing very well, finding its higher high, coming clear above this zone here. This is another high demand zone because the price came down fairly heavily, found support, and went up. But when it did come down, it provided a lot of resistance for that area. Well, now we're back up above it. Being back, well, actually right in the middle of it. Who knows what's going to happen? But this high is encouraging because it was above, that high went above this demand zone here where it accumulated a lot of volume. So that's encouraging. More likely to see continued movement coming up. Probably will find a lot of resistance again here in this area. That was another pivot point. So the next impulse might just take us up to there. Should be good to see. It would be good to see for the asset. Neural AI, infrastructure coin for AI, and this one here did not come up above that high demand zone. And again, I think it's probably just because it's a little bit smaller, smaller of a market cap. It's going to take a good hardcore fan base for this to really take off unless they get a big injection of cash. Beam, this one's been consolidating, and even with the recent pump there at the first half of May, it didn't really create a new high, nothing significant anyways. But again, gaming, it'll probably show up later. Farcana, I thought it was just going to dribble like a basketball for a while, but no, we're starting to go down even more. I have added more position. I think it was in this area here. Yeah, it was towards the end of March. I doubled the size of my position in FAR, which I'm super excited about because the last time I bought was in June, the middle of June, in this area here. So I was down 95.99%. Well, that's approximate. About 95% down on Farcana, and then I bought again and doubled it up. It's going down yet even more from that position, down another 56%. That means my original, back in the middle of June, I'm down 97% on Farcana. That's okay, because I'm going to buy some more. Probably double yet again everything that I've accumulated. This, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what you want to do. I might lose everything, but the upswing on this having the diversified portfolio that I do, the risk to me is nominal. Because if this sucker goes off, I'll pay for 20 of these losses just coming back to the all-time high. Look at that, 26,000% coming back up. That's not even to my target. My target is 63,000%. When people buy as they go down, in the moment, they look like retards because they're just losing money the whole time. That's what it looks like. But the saying that I have and the mentality that we want to adopt when we're doing this kind of financial strategy is that the dollar cost averaging is the strategy. That is how the largest accounts go from, that is exactly how the smallest accounts end up being the largest. It's just a game of patience. Superverse, starting to climb. This community, this gaming community is very, very vibrant. They have good games that are already starting to come out. And as a result, they're seeing a little bit more of an increase. Now, AI is not generating the environments within those games yet. However, it's not going to take long. Going to take long. I would expect by the end of this year we're going to see games being released that have lifelike videography. I mean, take a look at what's going on out there. If you just search Google's VO3, that's their new video generation program that they came out with. Mind-blowing. Takes a lot of, like, I have to look. I used to do video editing, so I've got an eye for when video has been generated by computers. You know, we call it CGI, computer generated CGI. What is that? EI? I can't remember what that stands for. But it's computer generated graphics. The wild. It's hard for me to tell whether or not it's computer generated or not. Takes me a bit. Cpool, Clearpool, in the DPIN world, RWA. Massive developments have occurred within RWA. I'm actually starting to think that RWA as a bubble will coincide with AI a lot more than I originally thought. I thought AI was going to go first, and then we would see RWA. But the fact that the RWA charts are very similar to Cpool in that they are following the same pattern as what we see with AI coins. Like, look at this chart pattern here. This is let's just go to the last, let's just go to this last bit here. So this is going back to the beginning of the year, okay? This whole chart here, this is the tail end of January here. So with that being the year, look at Cpool. This is a real world. Oops, zoomed in a little too far there. Cpool. I'm going to go down now. I'm going to share the same time frame on desync. We have a similar pattern. Now, it's not exact. The zigzags don't perfectly line up. But in general, we see that downtrend for the first part of the year, and we see an uptrend in the last couple of months. Same kind of thing with Cpool. It's not going up as high, beating out the highs that, you know, were formed back in March. But the fact that there's a general shape that follows the same thing. With gaming, look, that is not following the same pattern at all. It just keeps on going down. But Cpool, real world asset, is coinciding. It's the market, the price action is showing a similar shape to AI coins. There's desync. There's 0 by 0. What's another one? Fetch. And Clearpool. So not as much growth as what we see in AI, but a similar trend pattern where we are creating some higher highs. There's simply not as much of a higher high. That tells me that we're seeing a coinciding trend where the money coming into AI, or the money coming into cryptos, is being split fairly evenly between AI coins and real world asset coins. And so that might just be because it's becoming more and more popular for people to buy a little computer, and its dedication is, you're not going to use it to, check your email or listen to music. You're not going to be social media, you're not going to be using social media on it. That computer has its own operating system, and it's providing resources to the entire internet, the decentralized network of computers that are processing information, so that AI, the electricity and the processing power of AI isn't held within centralized GPUs, like what we see with OpenAI or Grok or Llama or Cloud or any of those other AI operations. Big data is focusing on centralizing AI. Clearpool is an asset that's decentralizing that computing power in general, not just AI, but all computing power across the chain. NPC, we got a couple meme coins here now. NPC showing some similar pattern to what we saw before. Look at how we came above this old support line. We came above that support line back at the beginning of May. Again, this is indicative of a trend. I believe that meme coins are going to see a little bit of an insurgence here over the next little while, possibly even before we see AI coins take off. SPX showing more strength than NPC right now, coming from these old lows from the beginning of March, up 300% since that time. Showing a little bit of resistance right now. It makes sense. This is a fairly significant zone right here. But we can see that we jumped up above it. If it can maintain that, probably see it reach that all-time high again. Again, I think this is indicative of the meme coin resurgence, where they're coming back into play.
I have a question, Paul.
Yeah, I'm done anyway. It's perfect.
So I'm doing my swaps, and I wanted to buy some Farcana.
Okay.
So I want to get 200 Canadian dollars worth of Farcana.
Yep.
Well, I'm having trouble because it's saying that very high price impact is 90%, 90.17% price impact on the market price of this pool and will result in a loss of funds. What does that mean?
Maybe if you can share your screen. That's in when you're about to make a swap.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that the well, let's check it out. Let's check out
How
your
come my
screen.
video isn't working now?
I don't know. It's saying that there's a disconnect on the camera.
Which is so weird because I had it set up and now it's not doing nothing. It won't let me touch nothing. There it goes. Okay, let's see. I would want entire screen. Share. Okay. So you see that there? Do you see it?
Yep, it just popped up.
So this is what it's saying.
Very high price impact.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. Let's click learn more. I've never seen this notice.
What are you doing? Come on. There we go.
Change in token price directly caused by your trade. Impacts the total liquidity in a pool. Price impact you experience depends on the size of the liquidity pool. When the pool has high liquidity, your trade may have smaller price impact. High liquidity, your price is smaller. When the pool has low liquidity, your trade may have a larger price impact. the larger the greater loss you may experience. It's important to remember that the price impact range changes constantly as the total value of a liquidity pool changes in supply and demand of each token. Okay, let me just do quick research on this. I did not see this notice.
Now, even if I buy like a little bit, it still gives me this.
Yeah, okay. All right. So it may not. Oh, no, it says it will result. Okay. Well, here, let me just look.
And I
I'm gonna
can't
look
even
up-
do it through MetaMask.
Oh, wow. You know what? Let me go and look it up. I might be losing everything I got in there. Who knows?
I
If the
really
pro-
think that this is a great learning curve.
Yep, no kidding. This could very well be if their liquidity pool is small, that might be an abandoned project.
No way.
If that's the case, then yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean that that is the case, but that's what I'm thinking when I see if the pool is so small that your $200 is going to affect the price by 90%. And that doesn't make any sense. If you're buying it, that should increase the value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me go see what the website's got.
Okay, I'm gonna unstop sharing because you've got all the information.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll do some searching on this.
Like I was thinking, it's so low right now. Woohoo! Buy, buy,
Yeah.
buy. But if it's not letting me buy, what's going on with the project?
Yeah. Look at this.
And
May
does that
19th.
mean?
May
and does
19th
that
saying
mean-
it's.
It's saying what?
Sorry. No, go ahead.
And does that mean the same thing as when I did the other one and it went so low? Like it's gone?
Oh, that other meme coin that we did, the Trog.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Possibly. They're so active though. Like they were just in Dubai at the beginning of the month at a big conference. They are yeah, 18th. On the 18th, they posted about how they were present there. Farcana is in the top 15 of the Epic Game Store, which is a directory of a bunch of
So
blockchain play to
even
earn
if I
games.
buy $3.67 Canadian, which is 0.001 Ethereum, which
Yeah.
is like 4.88554 Farcana, it still says the same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna do some research on that. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm gonna figure
Yeah.
out what that's about because I wouldn't put in $200 if it says it's gonna go down 90% right away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. We'll wait, and I'll find out what that means and
But
what
I'm
the
just saying,
implications are.
what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it says that you're still getting the volume of tokens, but that by doing it will create a price change. So the market price will change. Again, it doesn't make sense to me because I think to myself, if you're buying it, that makes the coin more rare. So then means
So
that you're
my
signifying to
Farcana-
the market. Yeah.
My Farcana, I have 8,768 Farcana. And it's only $9.39. It's gone down that much. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. Just so we can check it out. It's very interesting.
Very, very interesting. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Well, that's market analysis for today.
Cool. I know my camera's not coming back, sorry.
We can't see you to say goodbye to you.
Well, my camera's not working, no matter
What's
what I
up
do.
with that? That is so weird how it just dropped out. You might just do a reload on the page.
Oh, wait. Here, just a second. There we go.
Oh,
There we go.
there we are.
You know what? It pops me out into my my phone camera,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which is so
Yeah.
weird because I've never really used StreamYard on my phone.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I know that these phones nowadays, it's like they can automatically see when your computer is connecting to a meeting and try to use your camera as a webcam. And I do it purposefully because the phone camera is a higher quality camera, so there's just more definition to the image than if I use my laptop camera. It's really super cheap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably what it's doing. Is it's like, oh look, I can connect these devices for you. Look how convenient this is. Aren't you so glad you gave me all your data?
Yeah. Aren't you glad that we can just decide for you what you want?
Yeah.
You don't have to think anymore. I want to think.
Exactly.
No, you don't.
We know
I'm telling.
you.
Remember, the computers are smarter. No, you don't want to think more. Let me do that for you.
Take a break. Put your feet up and I'll do the thinking for you.
I'll take it from here.
Don't worry about it. We got you.
You never needed that data.
So exactly right.